All right, everyone. Ian here with Scotch on the Rocks, and welcome to my kitchen. So this is actually my personal kitchen. As you can see, we're not out in the field this video, but one of the things that's been kind of rolling around in my brain is how would I cook if the power went out? How would I be able to get food from raw to cooked in an emergency situation? Well, luckily I have a fireplace. So that kind of spawned on the idea we're going to do some open coal cooking in this week's video. So I have all fresh ingredients. This would be stuff you could get anywhere. There's absolutely nothing special about any of this. Just mushrooms, broccoli, onions, just like I said, just things you can get from the store. This isn't going to be anything special. You're not going to need any special equipment. The other thing is aluminum foil. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a boat. We'll put all the ingredients in. We're going to put it in the fire once the fire dies down and it's just coals, and we're just going to wait. I want to see kind of as far as in my own home how this would work. If this is something that would be doable in an emergency situation. I mean, it would be, but I want to know how much of a pain this is going to be or how easy this is going to be. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to make a damper. So what a damper is, it's Australian bush bread. So out in the Australian bush, you don't have access to any of your kitchen. You may have access to some of your kitchen equipment, but you're just going to make a fire. It's self-rising flour, some butter, some water, and some milk, and that's it. You just put it all together. You make it into a dough. You let the dough rise for just a little bit, and you throw it on the coals. So I think this is going to be a really cool, really interesting video. And so we'll take it from there. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do a whole bunch of hyperlapse of me prepping everything. This will be over 2 days because I don't know if you can see in the background. It's 11 p.m. at night. For me, it's 11 a.m. in the morning, but for most people, it's 11 p.m. at night. So what I'm going to end up doing is making the fire tomorrow and cooking everything on the fire tomorrow. But before we get started, this week's Scotch on the Rocks is brought to you by Johnnie Walker Black Label. Now, I'm going to start reviewing whiskeys and scotches in my videos. I'm by no means a connoisseur. I just know what I think is good and kind of some of the memories that I have from them. I've got a lot of good memories from drinking different scotches, and so I'd like to share them with you. But we're definitely going to review a scotch an episode, I think. So let's open this up. Hi, Ivy. Ivy is back. Her eyes are back to normal, and I can't be happier about that. And she's back to being a rambunctious thing. So, full disclosure. Again, I'm not sponsored by anybody. I buy everything you see on this, on this channel is bought by me. But I have an affinity for Johnnie Walker Red Label. As you can see in some of my older videos, that was kind of my go-to. What I like about what I like about the Red Label is the amount of kind of like there's not much smoke, but there's just a little bit of smoke. Every time I drink it, I think of camping, I think of fishing, I think of being outside. And that's kind of what the draw is for me for Johnnie Walker, as well as the price. It's not that expensive. Some people will look down their noses at it, but I'm not one of those people. If I like something, it doesn't matter what the cost is. So, cheers. Okay. So, with the Black Label, there is definitely less of a smoke taste. Definitely less of you can definitely taste the alcohol a little bit more than you can with the Red Label just because of the less pronounced smoke. But it does seem smoother and it does have a cleaner finish. It's got a little bit of heat when it goes down, but it's not like you don't feel like you're going to get heartburn from it. I know with some bourbons people will get heartburn, but I would actually still prefer the Red Label over the Black Label. And the next time I go out, I'll review the Red Label. But not bad for the price. It's definitely not bad, and that'll be kind of my backup. But for right now, I'm still a Johnnie Walker Red type of person. So I'm gonna hyperlapse this whole thing. I'm not gonna talk very much. It's just gonna be basic kitchen stuff. I'm gonna be cutting stuff up and cleaning stuff, and we're gonna put it all in a Tupperware thing for right now. And we'll deal with the butter and the damper and all that stuff tomorrow. So I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. All right. So, hope you enjoyed that segment. It was just, like I said, not a lot of talking. I was just doing work, cutting stuff up. So, what we have in here is we have some tri-tip, some mushrooms, some potatoes, some broccoli, and we have some little baby onions right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this all in some aluminum foil tomorrow, and we're going to cook it over an open flame, basically. I didn't do the bush damper just because there's a lot to it, and I don't want it to rise. You're only supposed to give it a few minutes to rise, and so that would kind of defeat the purpose. But I got as much done tonight as I could, and I will be back tomorrow when we get the fire going and we get this stuff on there. It should be a little bit of a shorter video, but again, this is just as much for my education as it is for everybody else who's watching. I want to see what would happen if the lights went out and I had to cook a meal, and the only way to do it would be in my fireplace. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next clip. All right, everyone, we are back. So it's the next day, and we're gonna make the damper. So this is the traditional bush bread. So what this is 4 cups of self-rising flour, half a tablespoon of salt, 1.5 cups of 1.5 cups of milk. So again, it doesn't need to. We don't need to. It's not traditional bread, so we don't have to worry about yeast. So the other thing I did this morning was I picked out a stick of butter. I just left it out because for the recipe for the actual meat and potato meal that we're going to have calls for the butter to be room temperature. So I'm just going to show you how I do this. I'm just going to mix it all together. So the key with this is to make sure that you add your liquid slowly. You don't want to add it too much because then it's just gonna bunch up. It's not gonna rise right, or it's not gonna turn into the bread correctly. So we're just gonna add a little bit at a time, making sure that we stir it. I might just be better to do it with my hands. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it with my hands. I like to try, and when I'm cooking, I like to keep one hand free, so one hand doesn't have stuff on it. So with the clean hand, it stays out of the way. That way, if I need to grab for utensils or whatever the case is, I can do that with my free hand that's not covered in stuff. My lovely assistant just asked me if I learned that from her, and the answer is no, actually. It's starting to dough up already, so that's nice. So I'll kind of show you guys if you can see it. So I looked at the recipe, and 4 cups of flour seemed like a lot. Apparently this is going to be a gigantic loaf of bread, so we're going to have to prepare for that. It's just sticking to my hand, so I might end up having to use both hands because the one hand method just is not working right. I have it all sticking to my hand, so we're just gonna dive right in here. Okay, so my lovely assistant just informed me that if you put cooking spray on your hands, the bread won't stick to it. And I'm not sure. My lovely assistant has had years in food service, and I have not. So, what's going on here? You can stay off the camera if you don't want to come in, but what's going on here?
You're doing it just right.
Okay.
If you need to get it less sticky, you can scrape off most of it and
Okay.
put some oil on your hands.
Okay.
But that's just how it is.
All right, but it's like chunking out. It's not wanting to consolidate.
You can add a little more liquid.
A little more liquid. Will my lovely assistant be willing to
Get you some milk?
give me some milk? She doesn't want to be on camera. Oh, look, you can see her arm. That's all.
Just add a little bit at a time until it's the consistency you want.
Okay. Yeah, it's wanting to fluff out. It's not wanting to consolidate. Let's see here, get this stuff off me. Oh, there we go. Now it's starting to dough out a little bit.
Usually with a basic white bread kind of recipe, you want it fairly soft and sticky.
Okay.
With something like a sourdough, it's usually fine if it's a lot denser.
Okay.
But you're going to want it to be pretty soft.
Right.
It's just a white flour and milk recipe.
Right. Ah, there we go. Okay, see, now it's starting to dough up. That's what I was concerned that we were putting. Maybe I accidentally put too much in, but that's not the case. There we go. So I'm going to add to the recipe. You want to add a little bit more than 1.5 cups of milk. Be right back. I want to get this verified here.
I have a more meeting.
Okay.
Want me to scrub in?
Yeah, if you want.
Oh, jeez. There we go.
It's all right. Man, this stuff is just not wanting to get off my hands. All right.
You can stay the star of your show.
Yeah, I'll stay the star of the show.
You need a little bit more milk.
Okay. Got her.
How long are you supposed to let this rise?
It didn't say.
Did not say.
Yeah,
Okay.
usually based on the shows that I watch, usually he gives it half an hour, something like that. which is good because it's going to take about an hour for the fire to die down. So.
Okay. I've never used self-rising flour before, so
Okay.
I don't really know how it performs.
Okay.
Maybe it's normal to be a little bit lumpy.
Okay.
I'm gonna beat it a little bit and hope it doesn't turn out like that last bread I wrecked that you were trying to make.
That's all good.
If you want to wash out that bowl, we'll put it back in there
Okay.
and let it rise for a little bit.
Do we want to coat it with a little bit of oil?
Yes, that's exactly what you want to do. Is a damper supposed to be more like a biscuit or more
Yes,
like bread?
it's more like a biscuit.
Oh, okay. Then I think you are doing
Okay.
just perfect.
Okay.
Because this is definitely biscuit texture.
Okay. So Pam? spray?
Yeah, you can use spray or you can grab some olive oil.
Okay.
I don't think it matters too much.
We'll just use olive oil since we got to put it on the thing anyway.
So since it's more biscuit-like, I don't think you actually have to let it rise, but since you're doing other stuff, you might as well give it a chance
Right.
to settle in.
Right.
That's perfect.
Sweet.
And then why don't you drizzle just a teensy bit of that on top.
Okay. Tell me what.
A little all over. Good. And then you just kind of want to get it covered, and then just cover it with a towel.
Okay.
Set it somewhere warm-ish, not
Okay.
too warm.
Should I put it near the fire?
Yeah, actually, the hearth
Yeah.
is the traditional place.
Okay.
to do
Perfect.
this.
We'll do that then.
Pro tip: cold water gets dough off your hands easier than hot water.
Okay. All right. So you saw that made. I needed a little bit of help because, again, I'm out of my element when it comes to making bread. That's not exactly something that I do every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this by the fire. I'm going to let it warm up. And when I come back on camera, I'm going to show you how I'm going to dump everything into a big old thing of aluminum foil. We're going to wrap it up, and then we're just going to wait. So I started the fire about 20 minutes ago. It's fully going. So it's going to be about an hour, hour and a half before I actually get to cooking. But through the magic of cameras, I can shut it down and you don't have to hang around for an hour. All right. So I went out to the store and I got the biggest thing of aluminum foil that I could find. It says it's heavy duty, so hopefully that works out in our favor. Working with aluminum foil reminds me of my tent stove. And there it is, guys. The finished, everything's been cut up, everything's been prepped. I put some parsley and some thyme in there. I'm really excited about this. I hope it turns out really good. Oh no! Onion hit the deck. And it's way over there. Oh, we'll get it. Oh, I'll get it off camera. So, we want to make sure that this is at least somewhat even here. And we want to make sure we get the garlic out of there as well. Now I'm going to drizzle this with olive oil. And then I'm just going to stick the stick of butter in the middle here. Hopefully it'll get go. This might have been too big. As I look at it now, this might have been too much. But I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? As long as the meat gets cooked, that's really all I care about, to be honest. Actually, I'm going to flip it. There we go. I have cooked grouse and fish this way, so I can only assume that it's going to work. I hope it works. If you would just hold this. Okay. We want to make sure that we cinch the corners down good and tight, because if it's going to leak, that's where it's going to be. What do you think? One more wrap, or should that be good? Think that'll be good?
And at this point, the Guaras are going to make you an honorary Mexican.
All right, so that is it for this portion. Like I said, we're gonna let the fire burn down. That's everything. I hope I went into good enough detail. Again, this is all a science experiment, and it's actually going to be a costly science experiment if it goes wrong. There's about $50 worth of food right here, altogether, all said, and I'd really rather not lose it. But we are going to put it on the fire, and hopefully it all cooks up. I'll take you guys along for the entire ride. So with that, I'm going to enjoy a beer and enjoy the fire that I made. See you guys in the next clip.
You better be careful. Those portobellos will turn you into a vegetarian.
And we're back. So fire finally burned down. I had to add some more wood. It was crazy. It's been about 2 hours. The fire took longer than I thought. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this damper. We're actually going to cut it up into 2 separate dampers because this is really big. What we're going to do, I'm going to take this, a little bit of olive oil on it just so that it doesn't stick. Towel. Alright. I'm going to take half of it. And as you can see, it did rise a little bit. So we're going to take half of it. So that's a little bit less than half. That's okay. We're just gonna fold this all into itself. All right, I'm gonna do the next one. Off camera, I realized I was given information by my lovely assistant. I need to make sure I have a dome on it so that it cooks. So again, do the same thing. We're gonna get some olive oil. Put this. Take the rest. Voila, that's everything. So we're gonna walk over to the fire and we're gonna put everything in. All right, so as you can see, the fire's burned down. I got a nice bed of coals there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab everything from the kitchen and just set them right on the coals. See if I can do this without losing some hands. Of course, they're both the same size glove. All right, and I'll give it just a few minutes and we'll be back. All right, so it's been about 25 minutes. These have been on the coals. I will say the damper was an absolute disaster. There were two. The one is just a hockey puck inside the fireplace right now. It went up, I could smell it burning, and so that we're gonna count that as a total loss. In fact, it's burning so much I don't even want to open it. I just want to leave it because it's smoking so bad. But this, I have faith in this, so we're going to do a big reveal for everybody. So, do I want these or do I want those? I don't want those. All right, you ready?
You're sharpening that, mister.
I am sharpening it. Ooh. All right, I wish you could smell it. but it smells like really a lot like rosemary and potatoes and everything. So I'm actually super excited about this. Oh. Oh my goodness. Holy crap. That looks amazing. Wow. I'm really impressed. I didn't think it was going to work out that well. It worked out so good. Okay, well, I like it. So 20 minutes, 25 minutes for that. And now I'm going to have my lovely assistant open up the damper because
it's black.
it's black.
Baby, it's black.
I know.
Oh,
Can we just eat around the char? Hey, that one side looks okay.
Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Okay, look. That side looks good.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, actually, you know what? I think a whole lot of this is going to be okay.
Still.
Oh no, we've got raw dough.
Oh no. Well, we'll just eat around the raw dough, I guess.
Okay, bread usually takes a lot lower heat for a lot longer time than what we did, but you know what? If you needed food to survive, hey.
I want to try a piece that's not. You can taste the fire on it. Probably a little more than you should.
Hey, I've had worse things.
That's not terrible. That's not terrible, but I'm really impressed with this, man.
This is beautiful. Ooh, look at that little puddle
The potatoes
of butter
are
you got in
Look
there.
at that. The potatoes are cooked through. Oh my goodness. Holy cow. That's perfect. So, what I liked about this episode, I got to try something new, something I've never done before. I enjoyed it even though it was kind of a disaster with the bread, but that's okay. The other thing I enjoyed was how well this came out. That's really cool. I'm really happy with it. And the third thing that I enjoyed is I actually got to spend some time with my lovely assistant. I don't normally get to do that on these videos. I get, go out into the field. But I'm really happy I got to spend some time. We, talked a lot, and she made fun of me. I made fun of her, and that's always a good time. 3 things I didn't like. That fire was kind of a pain at the very beginning. I wish I would have used smaller pieces more frequently to get the cold bed going. The second thing is the bread. I'm probably going to end up wrapping it twice next time. And the third thing is that I lost the onion. You saw that on camera, and I lost the onion. I went and got it back, but it was covered in dog hair, so I just decided to throw it out. Anyway, hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. Like I said, it's outside of the box, but I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
You know who doesn't mind a bit of burnt damper? A real Australian.
It's in her blood. She has to love it.